Hi, Chickenbone John here with a new guitar, custom Resonator guitar. I think if you want a lot of acoustic sound, Resonator is the way to go to get a lot of volume from a little box. It's got a uke, resonator and cover plate, 3 strings on a laminated neck, all done in this sort of aged copper. You can plug this in, and even with an electric pickup, it still gives a good amount of the resonator sound. Let's just show you that. As I say, you can hear that resonator tone. If I put some drive onto it, you sort of lose a lot of that, in my view. Let's have a look at how we actually put this whole thing together. They're not the simplest of guitars to make, so certainly not one to make as your first attempt at making a cigar box guitar. As you can see, I've got a couple, one finished and one which is sort of on the go. There's a few things to note. As I say, this is a 3-string, but it's built using one of these, which is a cover plate for a 4-string, i.e. a uke. So the strings just hook in here, normally the ball end of the strings. What I've done here, I've created a little stop bar tailpiece, and because this is wood and it's just bolted through those holes, I've actually put a little strip of metal glued and bent round the base so that there's actually electrical continuity, so that when I earth the cover plate through this little strip which goes around the back where the strings are fed, we've got earth continuity. Now inside the box is where it starts getting a little complicated. I'll just take that cover plate off, and you can see here's the cone, spun aluminium. It's got a hardwood, what we call biscuit, and a maple saddle. It's very light and flexible. So this thing acts effectively as a loudspeaker, with, instead of the cone being driven by an electromagnet, it's driven by the mechanical force of the strings. And so the whole of this box is like a loudspeaker cabinet. So what these are doing, it's porting this box. Technically that becomes a Helmholtz resonator. So you get the low frequency by putting in some sound holes. They're not purely decorative, they do actually work. That's why if you look at loudspeaker cabinets, they've often got holes or ports in them to get them to give you a better bass response. So if I take that out, you can see there's what we call a sound well. The neck runs through, and that's on a tilt mechanism, so it's not glued, or this is not resting on it. This assembly, there's a ring with a shelf in it, and that's glued to the top. That's what it starts as. So out of a piece of pine, I've cut, it's a bit dusty, out of a piece of pine, I've cut that ring, and then it's got a plywood shelf glued underneath. So that's all glued in under there. That drops in your cover plate on top. When you're building these, you have to be super accurate with the scale length, because you really can't adjust this any. You can shuffle it a little bit in that well, but then it is governed by how much you can move it in underneath that cover plate. So you can move it backwards and forwards a bit. You can turn it to adjust the intonation, but it's quite limited. So if you're building one of these, you do need to be super accurate setting up the bridge position in relation to the rest of your neck. Okay, that's about it. You just have to be careful, take your time. As I say, not a first timer's build, but if you want plenty of volume from a little box, a proper resonator cone is the way to go. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.